Hi. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Had a sample rate that was set through the moon. I was at 196K. That's not streamable, sustainable. So hopefully I'm back down to 44.1. And let's see what happens now. I hope that will straighten this out a little bit. All right, I'm just going to set up a piano and play a little bit. Let me get something going here. Just want to pull a little reverb in on this. Who do I want to use? I'll use east-west spaces. They have a nice reverb for this kind of stuff. Hi, Roisin. I'm hoping you can tell me this sounds a little better. It's coming through a little less choppy now. I'm thinking there should be a difference since I'm not killing my computer with that 196K sample rate right now. What do you say? Hold on a minute. How's the sound quality? Is it loud enough, Roisin? Is it loud enough? I just started playing the piano last week, and I just have to say that Learn Everything in 15 minutes a day program worked for me. It was amazing. Last week I couldn't play at all, and I'm totally lying, and you totally knew I was, and that's not even really funny. And this is why I don't do this very often. Hey, it's my buddy Eric. How you doing, man? You know what? I would love to know how long it's taking you guys for me to see the message, like what the round trip is after you type it and hit send. There's no real way I think to do that, except for me to say, "Do this." Here's how we'll do this. Hey, Roisin and Eric, I'm going to set a timer here. Hang on a second. I think Roisin's on here still, Eric. Eric, Roisin, say hi to Eric. I know she was watering her chipmunks and feeding her chickens. You'll have to ask her about that. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see. You know, it's funny. I've got a watch, and I can find everything but the thing that keeps time. Here we go. Stopwatch. Hey, what do you know? All right, guys. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say now, and when you hear me say now, I want you to send me. Just say any kind of a message. Say this message or something like that. Just say now in return. I'm going to say now, and you say now back to me through the chat room, and I'm going to time how long it takes for it to get here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, that's not bad. That was 2.5 seconds. Let's try it just one more time. This is cool that we can do this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, now. Yeah. Okay, good. We're averaging about 3 seconds delay there. That's not too bad. Pretty cool to know that stuff. I think Roisin might have left. Thanks, Eric. You know, I took a little break from being on here when my dog died, and I don't know, a little break turned into a long break. Oh, thanks. That's a track that I wrote. It's a little solo piano thing. I keep thinking about taking these things and making something more out of them, but you know what? I think just maybe they want to be solo piano tunes, and that's what I should just let them be. I'm going to do a quick splurge, I guess. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. That was a real blow, man. I tell you, he was. That guy was my whole reason to be, and I haven't been right for 2 or 3 months, but I've kind of run the full course now, and we're actually getting another puppy in, I want to say, like 3 or 4 weeks, a new golden retriever. So Ro just said it backlisted her for being suspicious. She can't see what I'm writing either. I don't know. She sure wasn't writing anything suspicious. That's weird. I mean, maybe I'll see some notification to that effect. I sure don't want her to be blocked from my chat room. Let me send her a message on on a Slack and see if I can find out what's going on here. I'm asking her what happened in the Slack so she can tell me. That's bizarre. It says she was writing too much too often. Which, like, what? She was the only one in the chat room, so, you know, it's not that she's writing too much. It's that my chat room is too empty. That's just okay. She's back now. Okay. Wow. Man, I don't know what that was all about, Roisin. That was just bizarre. Spamming the chat, she says. Oh. Yeah, she's spamming the chat talking about chickens and chipmunks. You know, that stuff will get you in trouble, Roisin. You should knock it off. You know, it's all fun and games until a chicken or a chipmunk puts out an eye. All right, let me go ahead and see what's going on here. Okay. What's up, Judson? I think everything's all right now with my stream. At least it should be. I was set to 196K in the DAW, and that's just not. I mean, that's rough territory, even without live streaming. But if you put live streaming on top of anything, on top of the processor, yeah, I know. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. 196K on a live stream. Okay. Yeah, no. That's not going to be happening anytime soon. All right, let's see here. Okay. Actually, you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm just going to grab a drummer track. Again, I'm just making random stuff. Just kind of saying, hey, what happens when we do this and that? I'm not really thinking about any kind of quality situation or trying to create anything other than noise here. Just having fun and seeing what happens. Let me think here. Let's go here and what is that going to be? Heinously busy and loud. Let me see if I can pull him back. Not too bad for grabbing two things at absolute random. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that, Eric. See what else kind of madness we can whip up here. Let's see. No. What would happen? Come on, fingers, wake up. Slap a little delay on here. Little sugar and spice makes everything nice. You know what? I'm going to go with the stereo delay. And I'm going to put one of these guys on an 8th dotted. Stick this other one on a 16 to start with. And that should just sound like a train house wreck. And, you know, that's just the way we like it. But I'm going to automate when it comes on. We're going to start out in bypass, and then we're going to, get off that pencil tool first. We're going to start in bypass. We're going to roll through once, and I'm just going to keep introducing more madness here. And then let's just pull this down to hats. Busy it up a little bit. And then unbypass that. Delay. Okay. Not quite busy enough. It's not rocking my world. Let me see here. Switch this delay out. You know, it's just experimentation. It's really little bit of heat here. I love this. The Bab filter Saturn though. It's just, never disappoints. Just rushing through a quick splurge, trying to keep moving forward and not really focusing too much on anything, but just getting some sounds in the same sentence that can actually coexist peacefully. I'm going to grab my ring out here. This is actually a ring I wear when I'm doing any kind of keyboard work that is lead solos kind of thing. By the way, guys, Roisin and Eric, this is Judson in the chat room. Judson's been a friend of mine for a while. We've known each other before my arrival here in Wilmington, North Carolina, but he also lives here as well, so we've got a chance to kind of... Just let me fill this out here for a second. Here. I don't know if you guys have ever used this plugin before. It's pretty handy dandy. I'm going to set it to, let me go ahead and put my, sorry, I don't know, I should have the screen on here. This is a pretty cool moment builder. So I'll go ahead and solo this sound for a second so you can see the one I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is automate the intensity of that. Hey, thanks, buddy. Judson, this is my new thing, man. It's so check this out. I told you about that fellow I was working with, the Mike Monday guy. This is a type of music writing style that is kind of where you just do spontaneous writing. Pretty much is the best way to describe it to those who haven't had the experience of, doing the, actually I don't want bypass. I want, what am I doing here? Intensity. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. Get a little more stupid now with this. This is getting fun now. All right. Okay. Okay, let me take the ring off here for a second because it's going a little nutty now. What can I do that is absolutely just inappropriate here? I got an idea. When all else fails, arpeggiate. Straightened around here. Figure out something with this. I have no idea what, but okay, we gotta bring the beat back in, of course, because that shit ain't gonna work anymore. So yeah, reason we're not feeling that is because we've got no kick. What? No kick? Wait a minute. That makes no sense. Of course it doesn't. Yeah, Roisin got blacklisted for talking too much. Remind me to tease you about that later, Roisin, for commenting too much. It's pretty. I'm sorry. That's pretty funny. I mean, it's really stupid. Really, it's stupid. All she was, we were just talking in the chat room, and they're like, "Nope, you're spamming." So they blocked her out of the chat room. Like she was the only one in there, and I'm like, "What?" Okay. All right. Hurry up, Jace. Come on. All right, so what I'm thinking is I need something really punctuated there. That's not going to cut it. I just want to... So when I'm doing stuff like this, one thing I'll do is I'm just going to switch up textures. Really about, you're doing a lot of electronic music, I'm finding that textures are just about everything. So, okay, let's see what we can do with that. Just a little touch of loving on that. Let me see here. I'm just thinking here for a moment, which I'm not supposed to be doing too much of. just pull in a lead synth. So the kind of music, that I'm getting into writing electronically, this is something that has just kind of evolved on its own from my style that seems to be happening. Is just it's kind of like draws on a couple of different things. It draws on a little bit of techno, a little bit of, obviously a lot of techno on this particular track, but also like a little touch of trance. And with me, no matter what I'm doing, lurking in the background is always going to be a little bit of classical styling in there, as far as phrase structure that has to do with classical music, because I just love it so much. Let me see. Okay. Maybe something a little bit more glidey up on the higher end. Some different feels. Let me see here. Let me just listen to this thing from the beginning now. Ooh, sorry. That always hurts when it does that. The drunken stutter. Okay. what I'm doing is just creating a marker track. This is just a placeholder. And this is another thing about what I'm doing is I'm not grabbing loops anywhere, and there's nothing wrong with using loops. I mean, I'm not, people, I say that, sometimes people think I'm saying, was he trying to diss me because I use loops in my productions? No. I don't, first of all, I don't play that game. I don't diss anybody, respect, throw shade at anybody for however they make their music. Their music's their music. They make it. That shit's yours. You should be proud of it. Or you should at least love yourself enough that you don't beat yourself up for the tools that you use. You should be celebrating the tools that you use. I'm just saying, part of my style is that I'm drawing on other resources to create electronic loopation. There's a new word that is kind of like, you know, sitting in the background of everything that I'm doing. So electronic music is very much a loop-based kind of a thing. You know what I mean? It's well, it's because it's building expectation inside of you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what's coming, you know? And then taking that and twisting it and turning it in different ways is what, you know, creates the love. Something run there. All right, let me think about that one for a second. Let me just, I'm just grabbing random stuff here. Don't know if you guys have ever used a, you know, and really what I'm trying to do is grab things that I just, you know, absolutely have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not picking resources where, oh, I know there's this sound there. I know there's this thing there. For the most part, I'm just jumping into things. It's going to be like a train wreck fun. And I'm doing it on purpose because what I'm doing is I'm forcing myself to make something work in a weird way. And that's also part of stylistically what's kind of driving the truck here with me lately. You know what I mean? Is this, you know, so I picked up on this type of music writing, which was, you know, so out there for me. It was like on a different planet to be just grabbing random things and using random shit and throwing it together in the same sentence like it's even supposed to work, you know? And for me, it's kind of cracked open a brand new style for me, you know? So let me see what's going on here. I want to try this guy. So just one of the big things that happens in electronic music is when you're trying to make something big, what you do is you detune an oscillator, you know? So listen to this. Now watch what happens when I detune this oscillator. Okay, or this one. Okay. All right, let me see. I'm going to go into... Take a look at the bases. You know, sometimes bass pads are trying so hard to be bass pads. I don't know. It's like overwhelming. Sometimes I like to use lead synth pads and just put them in the bass. Try that again. Hey, Roisin, you're back. I thought you were already able to talk. Did they cut you off again? This is so ridiculous. I don't like that anymore. Okay. Let me change this beat up a little bit through here. Give us something else to grind on. I didn't mean that probably to sound the way it did. And I've been doing that a lot lately. And I am the Empress of the Inappropriate. Or I mean the Emperor of the Inappropriate. Unless I'm wearing a dress, then I'm the Empress of the Inappropriate. Hey! I actually don't wear dresses. Didn't know I had dance moves on the bench. All right, let me see. All right, let's do that. I'm going to latch that. I don't know if I can record that through a latch or not. So when I'm trying to record automation on instruments, the first thing that I generally try to do before I go cycling through my automation list is just to set this to latch and see if it'll catch. Okay, that's where I need that. Let's be a little bit more liberal with that, Jace. Okay. All right. Oh, let's just throw some reverb on there, shall we? So with reverb, let's have a little reverb sidebar. Less is more. Reverb is okay. So that's that sauce that you're putting all over everything that the sample is doing. Now, reverb comes into basically like two main categories. Okay, one is an accent, and the other is, part of the structure of the instrument that you're playing. So much so that there's either so much of a certain kind of reverb or so much of a certain kind of reverb effect that it actually changes the nature of the sound so much that if you disengage the reverb from the sound chain, the sample doesn't even sound remotely the same, or the instrument doesn't even sound remotely the same. So the kind of reverb I'm doing right now, this is more of an accent reverb. And when I'm doing accent reverb, especially at this early phase of something, I'm not even supposed to be worrying about quality right now. So I'm going to be using very little of it. Well, that drum is just like a pile driver, isn't it? Let's just dial him back a little bit. I mean, we're not trying to go deaf here tonight. I know I just broke every rule of electronic music by saying that. But truth is, when I'm in the studio, I don't listen to stuff very loudly. If I was a ghost, Roisin says, if I were a ghost, I'd be a banshee because I'm Irish and make a lot of noise. Okay, now, first of all, no bueno. Apparently, from my Dungeons and Dragons days, I remember that, hey, I'll see you later, Eric. Thanks for stopping by. I remember that the scream of the wail of the banshee resulted in death to whoever was listening to it. So I can't think that, you're screaming people to death at night. That's just not, that's not fitting your archetype. Let me see here. Let me just mix this up a little bit. Just mixing this beat up a little bit. Yeah, Judson Hurd has a really cool Twitch. Check it out. You know what? I'm kind of liking that a little bit sooner. So let's see now. One other thing I'm going to do with this. Let me see here. Let's go ahead and extend that note. Let me see if I can just mix this up just a little bit. Not quite that long, maybe like that. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do, is just get a flavor for this. All right, so this is another big thing, is, and the reason I'm doing this now is kind of because I want to show you guys this. Normally at this stage of a process, I wouldn't be doing this because it's too early to be talking about this kind of stuff, in my opinion. I'm supposed to be splurging right now, and I'm not thinking too much about these kinds of things. But I'm going to show you this now because of the weight that it has in this kind of music. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these, and these, and this. And I'm going to grab these. I'm going to show you how to make these penetrate so that they go right through you. These guys. Let's see if I can back these down a little bit more. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm going to go into functions, and I'm going to go into MIDI transform, and I'm going to go to a fixed note length. And I'm going to pull this down to 0 and pull this up to like 1. 1. Select and operate. So now I've trimmed those note segments to an exact length. I'm not saying that's the length I'm going to want them at. I'm going to pick a length that really showcases their punch, okay? So in electronic music, hey, thanks, Ro. I don't know. I'm just kind of making this thing up as I go here. So I'm having a lot of luck with these lately, and I don't know why. I think it's because I've gotten through the original, the preliminary doing this live show stuff and getting my splurging down. So I'm going to show you this. This is actually, let me check my edit undo list. Yeah, okay, so first I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to let you listen to this. Okay, now I'm going to redo that. Now listen. Okay, I'm going to shorten them up just a hair. So if I do Option Shift, I can now grab them all and move them at the same time. Just shorten them down here to about like this. Hear how that's pumping through there now? And then the other part of this that I'm just wondering about is if I want, and I like the steady feel of it, but if I want to I could also put a side chain pump on that really easily. You know, there are a lot of different programs, plugins now out there for signed. Shot through your rib cage. There's a lot of programs. Thanks, Ro. There's a lot of programs you can use for side chain pumping effect. There's LFO tool, which is kind of like the Mac Daddy of. There's several of them that are really good, but you know, truthfully, at this Kano from Mortal Kombat, finish her. So yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a little bit of character here, okay, and I'm going to automate that, and I'm going to be gentle with it. I'm not going to overdo this. Let me see. Let's go in here. Let's go one knot pumper, and we're going to do the amount of pump. Okay. This is a plugin by Waves, by the way, if anybody's interested, and it's like $30. See, I'm off. Well, oops, excuse me. And I'm off here. See that? Okay. So, a lot of times, what people will do in an effort to make something sound bigger and more powerful, they'll start reaching for more instruments, reaching for more instruments, reaching for more instruments. Before I start doing that, I try, especially, okay, and let me make this designation, like, this is really different with electronic music than it is orchestration. When I'm doing digital orchestration, if I want to make something sound very powerful and big, I'll have 60 things do it softly. You know what I mean? In other words, I'll take violins 1 and 2, and I'll double that with perhaps cellos and oboes, and I will do that in such a way, picking the right notes and stuff so they're not stepping all over each other, and stack that so that it's everything's not, the sound that you hear sounds fortissimo, but the instruments aren't playing that loud. It's just a lot of them. So when I first started doing electronic music years ago, I tried to apply that same kind of trick with electronic music, and you can get away with it with pads. You can get away with it with, you know, a lot of stuff like that. But in electronic music, what sounds big is when one thing is doing something right. And there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. It's like, you know, a couple of twists, a couple of turns on some knobs, changing that waveform, fattening it up in certain ways. And that's kind of what, you know, I mean, even for not having any mixing on this, look at this, guys. There's 3 things happening here right now. Okay? So, just for shits and giggles, let's take a look here and see what happens. I'm going to actually move over quickly to a piano. Okay, for now, I'm just going to stick with moving this up an octave. And I'm probably going to turn around and move it back down. That's okay. Okay, so without, with. You know, and then I can even double it up one more time. And you'll see this happening in electronic music pretty much par for the course all the time. So essentially we've got this one, and this one. Actually, oops, hang on a second here. that's good. Now I've got to pull it back a little bit just so it's not so overpowering. What I'm looking for here, okay, to describe it with the right adjectives, okay, I'm looking for thickness. I'm looking for, presence, okay? I'm looking for the kind of thing you can kind of feel more than hear. Chances are, if you're having to turn something down, you're doing it right. When it comes to this electronic stabbing situation like this. All right, let me listen to this track from the beginning. This thing is a hot mess. How long have we been into this? How long have I been on this stream? Where do I look to find that? I don't even know. See, I forgot to set my timer. JC, get with it. Okay. What? Okay, well, I think I've definitely given myself something to come back and listen to next week. So, again, I kind of didn't stick to all the classic rules that I do when I do these kinds of things because, it's just kind of got into some flow there and started having some fun with it. And y'all were with me, so it was kind of fun. So, hey, Roisin. Yeah, thanks, man. Hey, Judson, these things, honest to gosh, so the thing is with this, so you wonder, what comes next with something like this? What comes next is nothing for a week. Nothing for a week. This track will go into, check this out. Show this to you. So this is kind of my production system that I'm using. I use Trello, the app, to keep this all together. And you'll see that I have these splurges right here, and then I have the sketchbook here. And this sketchbook is filled with tracks that are basically kind of like in the same situation that this one is in some degree. Some of them are longer, some of them are even shorter. Some of them have been bookmarked with this gold thing to move on to another stage. Some of them are at a dead stop. And then I have some that I'm working on releasing. These are tracks here that are actually on their way out. These are all working titles, you know what I mean? I'm not going to actually name Rumbly Stiltskin. That one's for you, Roisin. Rumbly Stiltskin. But anyways, what I'll do is I'll save this track, and this track that I've been working on, and it's going to go into the splurge category here. And then in a week's time, I'm going to listen to this track. And the truth is I might hear something in this and I might not. I have no idea. You know what I mean? How I'm going to feel like this if it's, if it's speaking to me in some way. But what I don't want to do is get into the idea of it being something right now say, oh yeah, this is going to be this, it's going to that, oh yeah, amazing. And then come back and listen to it a week from now, only to realize, or start running it through the production to realize in a day or two, maybe I was only having a really great day and I thought this track was way cooler than what it actually was. It's actually a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Or vice versa, you know? Roisin says her sister calls her Rumple after Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpley-Stiltskin. Here, would you like to hear it, Roisin? This track is so ridiculous. Don't laugh, okay? I can't believe I'm letting you guys hear any of this stuff. All right. Big seventh chord. And that's where it stops, you know. And this is a thanks. This is a track that is gonna probably keep moving. Haven't made the decision to release this track yet. It's still in the draft phase, and I kind of want to run through some experiments with it. And that's a big thing about my creative process, is kind of like, you know, everything's an experiment, really highly experimental. So that way there's not ever this fear like, oh, maybe I'm failing somehow, some way. You know, here's a weird one I'm working on. I'll show you another one. This one's called Hall of Mirrors right now. It's formerly Casper, as in the friendly ghost. I know. I'll show you this one. Kind of where that one is. That one is one that's going to get released. Some of these things get bizarre, really bizarre. About a cat. Yeah, thanks, Judson. I appreciate it. I'll have to check that soundtrack out, Judson. Sounds pretty cool. play a little bit of one more little taste of something I'm working on. So, yeah, I tried to, whereas before when I was doing a lot of traditional Japanese music with a mix of synths and electronic, yeah, I'll have to check it out. Akira, it's called. Pretty cool. So what I'm doing is trying to take simple ideas and keep them simple. Keep the part writing, like when I say the part writing, the better way to put it would be like the different parts of the stuff. Not too complicated. So yeah, that's a taste of that one. These tracks, just like the only thing that they have in common with each other is that they really don't have anything in common with each other. And I'm not trying to say that to sound cool. I'm saying that because I don't know any other way to kind of. I mean, maybe you're hearing something stylistically there that has. Thanks, Roisin. Has a little something going on in there that's similar. You know what I mean? I hope so, because I'd like to think that stylistically there's something happening on here. But if I played you some of these other ones, you would say WTF here. You know what I mean? Like, where is he going? Because it's all over the place. So anyways, I think with that, I am going to maybe have a little bit of dinner now. I am very hungry. I've started my keto diet back today because I've put on 20 pounds in the past 6 months, just basically eating my feelings. Especially after Duke passed away. I've been every time I think about him, I reach for the ice cream, Oh, wow. I'll show you a picture. Oops, wait a minute. Hang on. That's my boy right there. He is... he's just my whole world, And, hey, congratulations, Roisin. Roisin's in keto. But this dog and I kind of, I can't even really talk about it very much. If I start really going into it, I don't know how that story's going to end. Anyway, the good news is, thanks, Judson. We really love Duke too. You saw how he was with your son. He was such a sweet boy. And he just got cancer, and man, I'll tell you, it was overnight. And and it's kind of like the nature of that breed is that they won't tell you something's wrong. I mean, when you love your animal, I'm sure just like you were with your chickens, Roisin, you can tell when something's not right. When you see this animal and you spend basically, it doesn't matter whether it's a chicken or a dog. When you bond with an animal, you're bonded with that animal, and that's it. And when they look at you, you can tell if there's something wrong. Yeah, Judson, it was basically the same thing. Judson says he had to put his mother-in-law had to put our fur baby down with cancer, and it's the same thing. He had a type of cancer. But the good news is he lived a very full life with me, and he was just extremely babied and happy and everything. So I can't think that he could have lived any possibly fuller. And we're having a new puppy. It's been almost 3.5, 4 months now since this happened. So giving that the appropriate time to kind of like just be rested there with that. We're actually getting a new puppy soon. So I'm excited about that. Can't wait. He's going to be a new golden retriever running around here, and I'll have to definitely hold him up here and show you. We're getting him in like 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So that's kind of pretty much what's on my mind every day. That and getting these tracks finished. I think these tracks that I'm working on are pretty much going to be like some sort of release. I have an idea for a name in mind for the release that I'm going to do, but I'm not going to mention it online right now because there is such a war for intellectual property. Somebody comes up with an idea, somebody hears it, they'll release on that product just to own the name. It's because it's tough to come up with original names for things. Some people don't put much emphasis on that stuff, and I can understand why, but hey, just because you shouldn't put too much emphasis on it doesn't mean you don't need to guard an idea when you have one and you know it's original. So, well, guys, thanks for hanging out with me this evening. This was really a lot of fun. You made my night joining me. It was really special to spend this time with you. Thanks, Judson. Thanks, Rasheen. Thanks, Eric. He's no longer with us here. He left the chat room, but I'm going to start making a habit out of this again, and I'll be setting up some regular times to do this. Thanks, Judson. You have a good night, everybody. Rasheen, peace. Everybody, rest well and have a beautiful night.